From the fiery birth of a cosmic wanderer to the boundless horizons of his search for meaning and freedom, his odyssey resonates with the complexities of existence. Through uncharted galaxies and encounters titanic foes, his story weaves epic tapestry of loyalty, defiance, and the eternal quest for balance in a universe teeming with marvels and mysteries. So buckle up or prepare for an interstellar voyage beyond imagination. Witness the saga of a cosmic sentinel whose quest for redemption and enlightenment illuminates the furthest reaches of the Marvel Universe. This is the captivating odyssey of the Silver Surfer. What's up, nerds, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Danny Sanssouci, and this is Comics and Cosmetics, the show where I talk about whatever nerdy topic I've been obsessing about that week while doing my makeup at the same time. And this week, as you already know, I'm breaking down the Silver Surfer. Let's dive in. The Silver Surfer, heralded as one of Marvel's most iconic comic characters, emerged onto the comic book scene and into comic book lore through the combined efforts of Jack Kirby and some from Stan Lee. This may be slightly controversial for me to say, but Stan Lee had very little to do with the actual creation of the Silver Surfer, despite what you may have heard. Back then, the Marvel method was how things got done at Marvel Comics. And the Marvel method was Stan Lee would give Jack Kirby and other artists kind of an outline, like brief description of a character he wanted to create, and then they would bang something out on paper and bring it back to him, see what he thought. Well, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee both have slightly different stories on how Galactus and the Silver Surfer came about. Being that this was a bit of a pattern with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, I'm more inclined to believe Jack Kirby's story. Stan Lee told Jack Kirby that he wanted a new villain, a larger-than-life cosmic bad guy. So Jack Kirby says he went to the Bible for inspiration and came up with Galactus. And it was his opinion that because Galactus was such a super overpowered, larger-than-life character, godlike being, one might say, he required a herald to go flying through to announce his presence. So when Jack Kirby brought his panels to Stan Lee was very surprised to see that on top of the Galactus character, we also had this Silver Surfer guy flying around on a surfboard. Stan Lee's like, what is this? This is not what I asked for. And Jack Kirby explained to him, well, don't you think a god like Galactus would have his own herald? Someone to handle the day-to-day nonsense of finding planets to eat. Jack Kirby saw the Silver Surfer as kind of a fallen angel, and that's how he described it to Stan Lee. He said, look, godlike being who's not so nice, he's gonna have like a fallen angel type to herald his comings and goings. Lee went ahead and agreed to it, and he's like, okay, I can do something with this, but he made changes. Stan Lee's gonna Stan Lee, and he took him in a different direction. In fact, he's gone on record to say that the Silver Surfer is his favorite character because it's his mouthpiece for the world, his galactic observer, his way to insert himself into the comic books. And that was a problem for Kirby. That's not how he saw it. And Stan Lee claimed he created the character and Galactus, that it was all his idea. This was pretty much the final straw for Jack Kirby, and he exited Marvel Comics after this and went over to DC. Like, he literally said he's going to go take his toys and play next door. But all in all, despite the controversy behind his creation, the Silver Surfer debuted in 1966 in Fantastic Four number 48. Now, Stan Lee's idea of the Silver Surfer was this otherworldly character. Like, he was supposed to be a fallen angel type, fell from grace and eventually wants to atone for his sins. But Stan Lee saw him as this very noble being. And I have to say, I do like Lee's version. We've seen a lot of comic book characters that, were bad guys and go through this redemption arc. But how many times have we seen a guy who was a good guy? He was a good person who had to do something horrible and then come back from that. We didn't see that very often, especially not in 1966. Stan Lee conceived the Silver Surfer as more of a philosophical type of character for Marvel. This cosmic being with vast powers. The Surfer was meant to symbolize the themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the complexities of morality. This stemmed from a desire to introduce a character that straddled the boundaries between hero and cosmic enforcer, grappling with the existential quandaries of duty, free will, and the infinite mysteries of the universe. The Surfer's creation was a pivotal moment for Marvel Comics in regards to storytelling. They were introducing this figure whose journey would explore philosophical questions and like the price of power and the eternal quest for redemption amidst the backdrop of vast, uncharted reaches of space. The Silver Surfer quickly captured the imaginations of readers, earning a significant place within Marvel's pantheon of iconic superheroes. The Silver Surfer's actual name is Norrin Radd, a man who hails from a planet known as Zen-La. In ancient times, Zen-La was home to a very barbaric, violent, and polytheist society. The Zen-Lavians worshipped several gods over millennia: Thrawn, Irox, and Siri Ulal. Their age of warfare actually lasted like 10,000 centuries. It's a long time for those who can math. In desperation to preserve their race, a man by the name of Norrin Radd convinced the Zenlavians to make science their deity. Thrawn, the saint of science, encouraged the people to embrace science and rational thinking. Zen-La City was the first all of Zen-La to take this on, which was also the home of Norrin Radd, the man who was able to convince everybody to do this. Like, are we just gonna keep killing each other? Because if we do, eventually there'll be no one left. They gave him the name Father of Zen-La. Over the next 100 centuries, the Zenlavians experienced a golden age of reason. They overcame war, poverty, famine, crime, disease, and want. They had everything. Their lifespans were dramatically increased, as seems to be the pattern, the fashion in comic books. Oh, you get rid of war and crime and disease and suddenly we live for 300 years. After their golden age of reason, they experienced their age of space travel. Explorers became their greatest heroes, and they visited thousands of galaxies. After they had probed so much of space, why did I say it like that? They decided there's no place like home and withdrew to their homeworld with no more interest in searching the galaxies. But the problem with having everything you want, which at this point they didn't need to work anymore. They had machines do it for them. They wanted for nothing. Problem with that is they became apathetic and very indulgent in their new utopia. It was considered unnecessary for Zenlavians to explore the universe and leave their home at all, and it was due to the common belief that no other world being capable of offering anything Zen-La didn't already have. But they also felt like in order to keep Zen-La safe from the rest of the galaxy, they should just stay here and never leave. life. They became like planetary agoraphobic, almost xenophobic. But in reality, what they were actually doing was the authorities kept Zen-Lavians to themselves to prevent their arrogance from prompting them to share and overwrite the cultures of more primitive worlds. Try to keep them from making more perfect copies of their perfect world by destroying other cultures. Destroy what made those other cultures unique. Kind of like their version of Star Trek's Prime Directive. Let them develop on their own. Zen-Lavians used a type of technology they called magitech, melding of science and magic. All science is magic until you understand it. But the peak of this magitech was something known as the Illuminatrix. This allowed for pretty much anywhere to be shaped in the image of Zen-La. So probably best if that didn't get used. Kind of like the Genesis device, also Star Trek. I'm a one-trick pony, okay? The Silver Surfer Norrin Radd. Yes, he was named after the man known as the father of Zen-La, Norrin Core. As a child, he was introduced to a young girl as a playmate, Shala Ball, and as a child, he found her super annoying, but that changed as he got older. As I said before, Zen-Lavians had anything and everything they could hope for, and this led to many of them falling into melancholy. Their boredom basically made them super depressed, and as this was a common issue with the Zen-Lavians, many of them ended up taking their own lives. This included both of Norrin Radd's parents. First, his mother Elmar, when he was a child, leaving him raised by his father Jarchan. After Norrin had grown and become an astronomer and a physicist and all these other science words, his father was accused of idea theft, and he also took his own life. Because Jarchan raised Norrin to be like him, a scientist, just focusing on science. And already Norrin had issues with that. Like most Zen-Lavians, he believed that everything we needed was right here, but it conflicted with this need inside him for more. He became obsessed with the past. He would go to Zen-Lavian museums and study all of these holograms depicting their age of war. He discovered warfare and violence and space travel. But by this time that, his father is gone, he's succumbing to this malaise himself. He's becoming obsessed with watching these holograms of the warfare of ancient times and space travel. He and Shalabal had fallen deeply in love. And whenever he would start to kind of give in to this emptiness he was feeling, this longing for more, Shala was there to help him through it as best as she could. However, his boredom continued. He was a brilliant astronomer, and it was he, while astronoming, he detected an anomalous cosmic phenomena that was heading towards his world. Delving very deep into his research, he discovered that the phenomenon was an approaching cosmic entity known as Galactus, a force of immeasurable power whose arrival meant certain doom for Zen-La. Faced with this impending catastrophe, Radd found a way to mentally reach out to Galactus in an attempt to negotiate or dissuade him altogether from destroying his home. His earnest plea and offer to serve as his herald and find him other planets. Obviously Norrin Radd's plan was, if I work for him, I can find him planets that aren't populated with intelligent life. Sounds like a good idea. But his earnest plea and this offer really intrigued Galactus. He's like, this has never really happened before, definitely got his attention and intrigued him. And he was impressed by Norrin Radd's courage and his determination. So Galactus agreed. He was like, okay, deal's a deal. So Galactus agrees to this, and he transforms Norrin Radd by imbuing him with just a portion of his power cosmic. Just a little bit. He was then covered in this very silvery metallic armor. He no longer needed to eat, needed to breathe, needed to sleep. He was untethered from the mortal coil. He was now a nigh omnipowerful creature and was given a board made of the same silvery material to allow him to fly all around the galaxy, hunting for Galactus's next meal. The deal was, he becomes his herald. Norrin Radd becomes a Silver Surfer, but he can never return to Zen-La. He cannot be with his wife. He cannot see his home ever again. But Galactus knew, even though Norrin realized that's part of the deal, he can never go home again. He can never be with his wife. He knew that the memory of that would torment him, and it would color his judgment and his obedience to Galactus forever. So Galactus started messing with Norrin Radd's memories. This way, it wouldn't matter why Norrin Radd agreed to this. It wouldn't matter what his plan was to keep Galactus from devouring these planets that were brimming with intelligent life, because Norrin would have no more memory of why he chose to do this in the first place. As Galactus's herald, the Silver Surfer scoured the universe for him, seeking out suitable planets for Galactus to consume. And remember, Galactus, he's not like an actual straight up evil guy. He is more like chaotic neutral. All he knows is consuming. That's it. He eats and then travels and finds another thing to eat. That's all he does. That's it. So it's very foreign to him when Norrin Radd is like, don't eat this planet because it's got peoples in it. And Galactus is like, so? It doesn't really matter to him. He doesn't do it for evil purposes. He's doing it because that's how he survives. So for about 100 years, it's not really that clear. Norrin completes his duties as the Silver Surfer. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. However, through his journey, the Surfer witnesses the beauty and diversity of life across the cosmos. And this would bring things up inside him that he wasn't sure where they were coming from. Later finds out, oh yeah, those are memories. But it brings up this internal conflict between his duty and growing empathy for the inhabitants of the planets he was scouting. He didn't like this job so much. This transformation into the Silver Surfer that propelled him into this new cosmic existence set the stage for a pretty complex journey across the Marvel Universe. One we can't quite get into in this one because it's a lot. I mean, picture it. This solitary figure shimmering like a celestial beacon soaring through the limitless expanse of space. This cosmic voyager tirelessly scouring the universe for planets to satiate this insatiable hunger of Galactus. Yet upon this fateful sighting of Earth, this celestial jewel among the stars, everything changes. He comes upon Earth and he studies it. It's not just the beauty of this planet that catches his attention. There's something that reminds him of something else that he can't quite put his finger on. But he doesn't exactly have time to reflect on that, because as soon as he enters Earth's atmosphere, he catches the attention of the Fantastic Four, not to mention the United States military. They were immediately intrigued by this crazy looking cosmic character that just bursts through their atmosphere. It wasn't just the meeting of superheroes that brought old memories to the surface and started to loosen his connection to Galactus. In fact, while fighting the Thing, he's very curious about it. He kind of lets the Thing thrash him around a bit. He's like, we'll try this. Why not? I'm bored. And during one of the moments that, he lets the Thing toss him around, he falls through a skylight in New York City and crashes into the art studio of one Alicia, who is the blind sculptress girlfriend of the Thing. It is her impassioned pleas and her logic, really, that got through to the Silver Surfer, and why he actually agreed to defect from his service of Galactus and help the Fantastic Four run Galactus off. Now, even though Galactus was pretty intrigued, if you will, by Norrin Radd's behavior, he punishes him nonetheless. And he punishes him by kind of grounding him to Earth. He's like, okay, you like it here so much, you have to stay here forever. So he puts up this barrier around the planet that he can't leave. Like, he jumps on his board, tries to fly, knocks him back down to Earth. This was something that Dr. Doom discovered when he found ways to separate the Surfer from his board and take it. But it gave Norrin Radd an idea. He's like, let's try this. He leaves his board on Earth and he has the Fantastic Four take him beyond Earth's atmosphere in their ship, and while he's up there, he dematerializes his board and turns it into just straight up energy, and then rematerializes it where he's at. So he turns it into energy, has it pass through the barrier as energy, and then he's able to rematerialize it out in space. And then he's got all his powers, haha, I beat you. So at that point, Galactus's silly little barrier was pointless. The meeting between the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four was more than just an introduction. It laid the foundation for the Surfer's gradual transition from being unwitting servant of Galactus to becoming an ally and a defender of Earth. Through interactions with the Fantastic Four and other heroes like the Avengers, Norrin Radd started to comprehend humanity's inherent value, their compassion, their bravery. His interactions with these heroes of Earth were a big turning point in his life, fostering his evolution from a cosmic being with no allegiance to a powerful ally and protector of Earth. These interactions sowed the seeds of empathy within the Surfer, and without that, he would have never been able to challenge Galactus and stand for a planet that he had grown to love. His encounter with Earth offers a juxtaposition of awe and apprehension. To him, this planet was more than a mere stopover at this point. It's a cradle of sentient life, a place of complexity and nuance. The Surfer grappled with the ethical dilemma of leading Galactus to a world brimming with sentient beings. His moral compass, rekindled after eons of servitude, started to guide him, prompting internal conflict. And as he discovered more and learned more about Earth and the essence of Earth, the Surfer became enamored with its inhabitants and their capacity for compassion and courage. His perceptions undergo a profound shift. His heart, encased in cosmic silver, began to resonate. After realizing the harsh reality of his role in aiding Galactus, Norrin Radd became overwhelmed with guilt and remorse. He wasn't a bad person. He volunteered for this role to save his entire planet, and his plan the whole time was to send Galactus to uninhabited planets. But, as we discovered, Galactus found a way around that and took his memories away. This ate at Norrin Radd when he was able to gain those memories back. He had profound guilt and he wanted to do something about it. It sparked a personal quest of redemption for him. He sees a planet like Earth and he sees beauty, potential, innocence of humanity, and he's deeply moved by it. After he got his powers back and had broken free of Galactus's imprisonment, he of course went searching for home. He went looking for Zen-La, only to discover that Galactus had moved it somewhere that even Uatu the Watcher couldn't find it. That's how hidden. And there were times that the Silver Surfer was reunited with Shalabal, but it was always only temporary. He was doomed to never go home again, to never be with the love of his life ever again. And obviously, Galactus was pretty ticked with him about helping the humans. While he was indeed free from Galactus's imprisonment, he did rescue Galactus's second Herald, a woman by the name of Frankie Ray, who went by the name Nova as the Herald. He rescued her from the Skrulls, and Galactus was like, well, okay, that's not so bad, so poof, I'm not mad at you anymore. But he still could never go back home. The Surfer had a lot of interactions with a lot of Marvel's heroes. He tried to make friends with the Hulk, but the Hulk's temper just drove him away. He's like, can't deal with this guy. It's a bit much for me. He took pity on the Mad Thinker's abandoned sentient computer, Quasimodo. He gave it humanoid form even, but he eventually was forced to petrify his new creation after it proved to be criminally insane. He had become very pessimistic about humanity at this time. This had convinced him that humanity was indeed a savage race and would only survive and evolve if the planet were united against a common enemy. And so he decided, well, guess I'll just be that common enemy then. Okay. He then terrorized the world with his cosmic powers until the US military struck him down with an experimental power-draining sonic shark missile based on technology developed by Reed Richards. Humbled by the incident and shown the error of his ways, so to speak, he then resumed his peaceful wanderings. Aided by his friends, the Fantastic Four, he resisted a few attempts by Galactus to rehire him, so to speak. He also faced foes such as the alien Badoon, Mephisto. He had a lot of interactions with Mephisto. Mephisto was obsessed with breaking the Silver Surfer's spirit. He wanted to prove a point so bad. He had run-ins with Loki, actually manipulated the Silver Surfer into battling Thor. Let's see, there was the mad scientist Ludwig von Frankenstein, the Flying Dutchman, rogue Zenlavian scientist Yarrow Gort, that's a name, Warlock Prime, Abomination, Doomsday Man. He was even part of the very first incarnation of the Defenders with Doctor Strange. And he and Adam Warlock were the ones who got the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos in the comic books. Was an Iron Man. Now, obviously, with him being endowed with the power cosmic, being able to tap into the ambient energy of the universe, he possesses some pretty immense abilities. He can absorb, manipulate, and project energy. He can manipulate matter on a subatomic level. He can travel faster than light. And power cosmic also grants him superhuman strength, durability, and the power to traverse vast expanses of space. He is able to heal others, but he cannot bring back the dead, as has been proven in the comics. He's tried. He can't do it. He also possesses a cosmic level awareness, enabling him to sense disturbances in the fabric of reality. This cosmic awareness also gives him the ability to understand the universe's intricacies. I don't know, but he's able to completely understand the integral things of the universe. This awareness aids him in navigating the cosmic realm and understanding threats before they arise. His iconic surfboard is constructed from the same power cosmic that empowers him. It allows him to travel through space at incomprehensible speeds, displaying maneuverability and agility beyond measure. His character is steeped in themes of isolation, redemption, moral complexities of power, the moral implications of absolute power. His struggle to find purpose and rectify past misdeeds that weren't even his fault, it really resonates with audiences, and it adds a lot of relatability in an otherwise completely unrelatable story. Some of the storylines that I would highly recommend that you check out regarding the Silver Surfer would definitely be the coming of Galactus, his very first appearance, Fantastic Four number 48, 1966. Silver Surfer Parable and Silver Surfer Requiem, which highlights internal conflicts, relationships, and significant moments in his journey, including his death. Silver Surfer is one of Marvel's most popular characters in the comics of all time. He had a brief but very successful animated series in 1998. He was one of the first characters to actually show up in video games, but he's only been introduced in live action like one time in 2005's Fantastic Four sequel, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, and it wasn't great. It's a shame because he really is a very complex and emotional character, and people really crave to see that in live action. But in this day and time when the MCU isn't exactly doing great at the box office and in the writer's room, it probably wouldn't be the best idea to introduce him now when we already have so many beyond Omega level characters that people are already like, what do we do with Captain Marvel? She's way too powerful. Silver Surfer is way more powerful than Captain Marvel is. I've always enjoyed the Silver Surfer. I love the idea of the Silver Surfer, the concept that he is a good person and he had good intentions, but was forced to do terrible things like fart on cue. And then what happens to that person? Like, what does that do to a person that even though they have the power of a god, it's their own moral compass, their own internal voice that is their weakness, so to speak. It's his weakness and his strength. How can you not want to read more about that character? How could you not want to hear more stories involving this character? There is talk that a Herald of Galactus will be brought into the MCU, but they have specifically said a female Herald of Galactus. So to me, that says Frankie Ray. There also has been talk about a Silver Surfer solo project under the special presentation banner. Now, I know they were cutting out a lot of those special presentations, but not all of them. So I'm hoping that the Silver Surfer is safe, as well as Nova. But as always, we just have to wait and see. The Surfer stands as a beacon of cosmic exploration. He embodies the timeless struggle between duty and personal freedom. His evolution from Galactus's herald to guardian of the cosmos has captivated audiences for generations now. His journey through the stars, marked by sacrifice and redemption, continues to resonate, reminding us of the complexity of morality, the vastness of the universe, and the endless possibilities within. With each cosmic odyssey, the Silver Surfer beckons us to ponder the depths of existence, to question the very nature of power, and to explore the uncharted territories of the Marvel Universe. As a character who embodies both the majesty and loneliness of the cosmos, the Surfer's ongoing sacrifice remains a testament to the enduring allure of cosmic storytelling. If you would like to know the full story, then I strongly encourage you to discover the cosmic mysteries that await you in the Silver Surfer Celestial Adventures in Marvel Comics. That's all I have for you nerds today on the Silver Surfer. If you like the content I'm putting out there, please make that sacrifice to our algorithm overlords. Smash that like button. If you're new, I sure hope you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with another breakdown or more nerdy news. I've been Danny. You've been awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Stay nerdy, babies. Check under your beds tonight because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!